We're here with head coach Albrey Grimsley of the women's basketball team here at St. Thomas University. How's it going?
It's going wonderful, and you?
I'm doing fine. You started your career here back in 2008, where you helped guide the Bobcats to the Sun Conference Championship and the national berth. You also served as an assistant as well as an interim coach at Indian River State College. So you have a big resume, also attending University of Miami. How was that for you coming into St. Thomas University?
The biggest thing is basketball is basketball. The biggest thing is you have to understand that the kids pretty much, they want someone to teach them. It's not a matter of what level you coach on, it's a matter of the response that you get. Are they willing to do what it is that's necessary as opposed to what's comfortable? And when you pretty much have a coach that can do everything that they're asking you to do and they do it on a daily basis, the respect usually follows it. So it's interesting, but at the same time, it's enjoyable.
Well, coming into the season, what are the expectations for the Bobcats this season?
Get better every single day. Be consistent in every single thing that we do. Practice doesn't make perfect, but consistency does. So we're definitely big on them being disciplined, being proactive, and they'll see results. That's why we sweat oftentimes at 5:30 in the morning, and then we come back in the evening. So usually when you see us, it's the second time that we've actually pretty much been at it. So it teaches discipline.
Well, after graduating back in 2013, Pierce is back for one more year as a graduate student. How important will her presence be for the Bobcats this season?
I think her experience is very important. You can never have enough experience. We have several seniors if you look at our roster, and they have experience. The one thing they don't have is chemistry. And that's what we're building throughout the non-conference and throughout the course of the season. And I think it will develop because of their experience, and they've lived a little life, and they understand the different ups and the downs, and they know when to pretty much grab a hold sometimes and say, Coach, I need this, or Coach, I need that, or they can just talk to each other. Because oftentimes if you come watch us practice, sometimes I don't have to say anything to them. I can look at them, either they corrected themselves before I can even say anything. So it's definitely great to have that leadership. But specifically for Miss Pierce, she brings a different type of leadership because she understands the tradition, because she has a big part in it. So for her, I think more than anything, it's probably unfinished business. I think, truth be told, for both of us.
Well, brand new season for the Bobcats, many off-season signings and additions to the roster. Can you talk about a few of those players and what they bring to the team?
I guess I'll start from smallest.
Yes.
Miss Aaliyah Pickney. Chicago, Illinois. She's a interesting player because she can do a lot of different things. It's just, once again, she brings leadership, but it's different when you're playing in a different system. So she's also still learning on the fly, but she's very receptive. She's always in the office trying to learn something new, trying to learn something better, always watching clips of herself, asking what can she do to get better. And that's a teacher and a willing mentality. And there's nothing you can do but get better as a whole, individually and as a team. We also have, there's so many.
Let's talk about Emma Grimes.
Emma Grimes. I call Miss Emma Grimes the flamethrower. That's why her hair's so red. Because she will light the nets on fire if you allow her. Emma doesn't need much light. She doesn't need much space, and she will let it fly. And oftentimes it goes in, and if she misses, we're a bit surprised. But for the most part, she's a worker. She's in the gym. I remember, small thing about Emma, when she first got to campus, the next day, she said, Coach, can I get in the gym? I said, yeah. I said, what time? She said, 6 a.m. This is an incoming freshman asking to get in the gym to get shots up at 6 a.m. I knew Emma was special because of that and before that, because you can't shoot the ball that way without having a work ethic. And it's very hard to find high school kids that come in with that work ethic. So Emma's going to be very special to what we do this season.
Also, what about Lockett, Catrice Lockett?
Miss Catrice Lockett, Miss Catrice Lockett can do a little bit of everything. She's willing to defend full court, quarter court, half court. She's willing to play the point guard, the off guard. She can get to the basket. I'm pretty much at will. She has a very nice pull up. She can shoot the 3 ball. We actually were in the gym probably a little bit ago, and she's one of those kids that gets 2-3 workouts in a day. Coach, can we go? What time can we go? As early as possible. Last week, Ms. Lockett actually got in the gym at 4:30 in the morning and worked out with me. And then she had weights and conditioning at 5:30. So that tells you a lot about a kid in itself. So she's very mature, and she's also one of our seniors as well.
Also, last two, Barrett and Ham.
Oh, Miss Ham. Sometimes I call her Turkey, because every time you look around, she does some sleepful things. But all in all, she's a great kid to be around. She's very athletic. Sometimes too, she's getting to the point where she's learning something new, and with the footwork and things of that nature, to make her a much, complete player. And her working on the different little details of her game and actually applying them, not just in practice, but to the game. And then Miss Barrett, I think Miss Barrett can be a special player as long as she commits to certain minor details. And I think they're all things that she can control. She has a very nice jump shot that sometimes, I always tell her, "What are you trying to do, high-five me?" Because when she shoots, she leaves her hand open. But every time she closes it, drops it down in the cookie jar, it goes in. And she probably, every time I told her, "Hey, it's a cookie." She likes food, so every time she goes and gets the cookie, she makes them. But I think she could be a very good player for us. She's a very smart player.
All right, now with the loss to Weber International last year in the semifinals, what did you guys take from that loss?
Honestly, every day is a new day. We wear black every single day, and that symbolizes a clean slate. So yesterday is irrelevant to us, a month ago is irrelevant to us, a couple minutes ago is irrelevant to us. Why? Because we have to forget about it. We have to have a next play mentality. If we don't have a next play mentality, who will? We're only as good as how quickly we respond. So how quickly we get over what just happened, that's how we can respond to what it is that we need to do. Because success is a habit, not a goal. We have habits every single day that we want on display so we can successfully reach our goals. So one game's not going to determine anything other than what happened in that one game. But there's plenty more. It's one of those things where when you look at St. Thomas's history, there's definitely more wins than there are non-wins. So I don't even really know what the L word is. So there's wins and non-wins, but I don't really remember most of the non-wins, because if you go back and look at the games that we won and the games that we didn't win, we did the same things, and the question was, the games that we didn't win, those teams capitalized, and we didn't. So it's a matter of controlling what we can control, and that's why we wear all black pretty much every single day. And there's nothing on our practice jerseys other than a logo. You have to earn your name. You represent the jersey. The jersey doesn't make you. So if you want to make it hot, you make it hot. So come in every day with a clean slate, understand that you have to have a next play mentality and be consistent in what you do. Because success is a habit, not a goal.
Now you're in your second season with Coach McCann. Talk about the relationship between you two.
Well, me and Coach McCann talk probably about 4 or 5 times a day. Sometimes about basketball, sometimes about life, sometimes, about, career and things of that nature. And the way we pretty much want to take this program, to another level, not just winning games, but also nationally, and how we can do that. We're on the road recruiting a ton all over the place. And we have a very good communication. So it's one of those things where if he kind of knows what I'm thinking, I kind of know what he's thinking. If it's something that needs to be done, he knows that I'm not going to wait on him, or vice versa. He doesn't have to wait on me. Just one of those things that we're, pretty in tune, and it carries over to the girl as well.
Well, last question. Back in your college days, you played point guard for the Hurricanes, of University of Miami. What message do you give your point guards here at St. Thomas?
Be consistent, because everything that takes place, if it starts and ends with you, then it's your fault. Understand that and our point guards can tell you, I'm very tough on them, probably more so than any position on the floor, largely because it starts and ends with them. They set the tone on defense, they set the tone on offense. If you want her to run a particular play, if she's not in the right place, tell her where to go. Otherwise, I only can expect that you don't know what it is that you're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about and you're the head, we're kind of dead. So therefore, that's also why with our point guard position, it's not a specific position with what we do. We have multiple ball handlers that can initiate our offense, but the actions and things of that nature are pretty similar from the forwards, etc. because sometimes they all interchange, and that's what makes what we do, as I call, simple confusion. It looks simple for us, but it's very confusing for the defenses and the offenses.
All right, well, lastly, back in college, you ranked top 5 in the Atlantic Coast Conference in assists in 2007-2008. You also led the conference in assist/turnover ratio, and also you was in the top 10 in the ACC in field goals percentage every year of your collegiate career. Just talk about that and the experience and what got you to that point.
I actually have to give a ton of credit to, one, definitely my parents, who, as far as discipline and making you do things over. If it wasn't right, if they didn't like it, something as simple as handwriting, if it wasn't neat, if it was slightly outside of the lines, you had to erase it and do it all over. And if there were erase marks, you had to throw it in the trash and get a whole new paper. I got tired of getting up to go get new paper, so I did it right the first time. And then from there, my high school coaches, Roger Dorio and Teresa Alucci, they were very, very disciplined in everything they did. I remember one time, Coach said, "I'm going to paint the ball gold. If I paint the ball gold, it's symbolic to money and it means something to you. You stop throwing it all over the gym." And she was making a general statement to the entire team. And it started with those, small little details of having to understand value. And I tell the girls all the time, the basketball is money. One basket, we're at it. The other basket, the other team's at it. One's their bank account, one's ours. Which, account do you want the most money in? So I know that money pretty much motivates when you start thinking in those terms. And then it's like, wait, she does have my money in her hand. Give me the ball back. Next thing you know, tips, deflections go up, steals go up. So you have to understand that they're kids, and you have to talk to them in a different way to where that they can understand and create a visual. That's why we do a ton of visual things. So there's a lot of different things in my life that carries over to that, but you have to value. What's your value system? I think if you trust and believe in something, you become committed to it. If you trust and believe and you're committed, there's a passion that takes place. If you trust, believe, you're committed, and the passion takes place, there's no reason the vision can't become reality. So I didn't want to be that person that kept giving the other team the ball when it wasn't helping my team. So it's all about shot selection and being disciplined to get to certain spots on the floor and knowing when you need to get there. And that's what we pretty much try to teach our girls every day. Wearing all black, it's a clean slate. Sometimes we wear blue, light blue, during the day, and it symbolizes sky's the limits. But we go back to all black to understand that yesterday was yesterday, a few moments ago was a few moments ago, and they're irrelevant. Why? Because they don't matter now. All people know is what they saw last. So put your stories on display through your play.
Now let's go outside of St. Thomas University for a minute. You graduated from University of Miami, so you have to be a Hurricane fan, correct? Correct.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the tough loss against FSU and the Noles, the football.
Well, that goes back to this next play. It happened. It's over. There's absolutely nothing that can be done about it. It's in the record books. They have to prepare for the next game to go out and get a victory because every game counts. One game can't be more important than another one. You prepare for each game the same. I prepare for a championship game the same as I did an exhibition game. Why? Because they matter. What makes them matter? It's a choice. It's how you choose to train your mind. Once you choose to train your mind a certain way, it just clicks. And you always do what's necessary, not what's comfortable. And you make things that are hard look easy because you do what's necessary, not what's comfortable. So I'm pretty sure they're going back to the drawing board, watching film, going over different things and strategies that need to be done for them to go out and be successful. Because I'm pretty sure they're still in a very good position right now to be in the championship, ACC championship game.
And then a few days later, UM then defeated UF in the basketball matchup, 69-67. How did you feel about that win, being a Hurricane fan?
I think it's a great win for the program, definitely. It's you beat a nationally ranked opponent, everyone's watching that, especially with the team as good as the opponent that they played was. I'm happy for them, happy for the university, happy for the fans, happy for the staff, happy for the alumni. We always support each other. I must say that. Yeah. We support each other. I was actually at that game.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming and good luck on the season, Coach.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.